Gooseberry Natural Feed was created to provide healthy products, basic nutrition, and enhance the digestive system and process in all equines. Gooseberry has certified organic ingredients for a total health feed. To learn more about Gooseberry Natural Feed, contact them at gooseberrynaturalfeed.net. Speaking of Horses is made possible by Equessentials Horse Care Products, for products developed by a horse person, for horse people, and horse use. Please check out Equessentials Horse Products. They have all the products you need to perfectly care for your horse's coat and physical appearance and well-being. Equessentials. Well, welcome again to Speaking of Horses, and we are here. Again, we're at Horse Expo Pomona, and I'm really happy to be sitting here beside Kate Chennery Tweety. I'll get it correct. If you saw the movie Secretariat, Kate is the daughter of Penny, who was the owner of Secretariat.
Quite right.
And, we were just discussing the fact that she now has the book out. And the beautiful part was, just a couple of 3 months ago, I was filming in Doswell on the farm.
At the meadow.
At the meadow. So we've got some shots we're going to show you right now of the meadow. But welcome. I'm certainly glad to be talking with you.
Thank you, Wayne. I'm so pleased to be here. It's a great event.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's all about horses.
You bet.
And people, and there's nothing better than that.
Nothing better, nope.
Tell us about the book.
Well, the book was my attempt to try to understand how this amazing horse came into our family. Because, of course, I was terribly proud at the time. I was 20, and then I went on to have this very normal life. I had kids, I had a profession, I became a lawyer, and it seemed as though this just phenomenal event was sort of in this distant past. But as time has gone on, Secretariat has really not been duplicated or eclipsed at all, forgive the pun, and is, still about the most amazing horse that we've seen in our lifetimes. And so it took me until I was in my 50s to say, gosh, how did that happen? How did we get that horse? How did we get so blessed? And so it's really an attempt to understand my grandfather and his passion for horses, his passion for breeding the most perfect horse he could, and my mother's desire and to fulfill his dream, even though he had become old and senile, and win the Kentucky Derby. Of course, she never expected to win the Triple Crown or to have a horse as amazing as Secretariat. But so the book is really a look back to say, how did this all happen? And it was a tremendous experience for me. It took me 3 years. It was a real labor of love. I lived in Virginia for 3 months trying to do research, and I got to really understand all of the people who cared for him, the grooms, the jockey, the trainer, Mom, Lucian. I mean, it became a complete picture.
Well, and it's quite a remarkable story, and I think, watching, say, 10 or 11 years ago when they did the movie on Seabiscuit again, and then to have, Seabiscuit was something really in history to most of us, but then to have Secretariat, who I also, being in the same generation, was glued to the TV watching the Belmont to see if we got a Triple Crown winner, and then the amazing feat that he did there, The whole movie just plays right into our generation.
It does, and I think there's a wonderful resonance for today as well, because Secretariat came along at a time when we were really torn apart in this country. There was Watergate, there was Vietnam, and there was a younger generation that was really challenging everything the older generation had stood for. Well, we don't have that so much that generational split now, but we certainly have sort of a tremendous division in our country politically, and also, I think, economically, between the haves and have-nots. And I think, an animal that is so pure and so magnificent, and that really proves that there is beauty and purity and excellence in this world.
Well, yeah, and I think Americans love the story of underdogs.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And they love the story of coming from, a smaller or a more meager beginning and advancing through something. And I think the story of your mother, of your grandfather before that, and Secretariat all plays into the fact that, yes, they were in the racehorse business and all that, but to come up with a horse of this stature was not expected of that particular group of people. You said it when you said, how did we come to own such a horse? And then to have, the fortitude to make it all happen is the American story.
It really is. And with the twist that it's the, it was Mom and a woman who had always pretty much done what it was expected of her, who in the early 70s sort of broke out of the mold of being a housewife. She had essentially been a housewife for 20 years and took over to fulfill her father's dream, to take over the stable, to learn what she had to learn to make it work, and then to come up with this phenomenal horse. And the great thing was he was one of the last horses that Granddaddy bred, so she really was carrying on his tradition but making it happen now.
Yeah, it's an amazing story. And every once in a while I go to YouTube and I still pull up the actual video of the 73 Belmont because you just can't believe it, You
really can't. And I go around the country giving talks. I give a slideshow and then I show the main 3 races. And everybody's just cheering at the end. And I still get goosebumps too. That Belmont, and I remember waking up that morning and thinking to myself, oh my gosh, we might win the Triple Crown. And of course it had been the first time in 25 years that would have happened. That was in 73. But nobody ever imagined how he would do it. So that was that added thing that really sort of took it almost into a supernatural level.
Yeah, it did, because it was Citation in 48, and then 25 years later it was Secretariat in 73. There were only a couple of other Triple Crown winners in the 70s, and then there hasn't been one since.
Not one since. And I truly wish we could. I think we all need a great equine champion. And racing is a wonderful sport, but we've had a lot of tragedy in it. And so it'd be neat to have another horse that really transcended our hopes and our dreams again, like Secretariat did.
Yeah, when you look at Seabiscuit was a champion of the average person during the Depression, and became that driving force that this underdog can do it.
Yes.
Secretariat, the story of coming from the meager beginnings, did the same thing. Tell us what the book covers.
The book covers, it starts actually in the 1860s, or I'm sorry, the 1820s, when our ancestors bought the land that became the meadow, and then it goes pretty quickly up to Granddaddy, and then through his life and his motivation. He was terribly poor, born after the Civil War into a family that literally prayed for their daily bread, and his dream, he loved horses, his dream was to make enough money so that he could indulge his horse passion and also sort of restore the family name, to a little bit of economic security. So then we cut to Mom, who what made her the way she was. She grew up in New York loving horses and riding and hunting and jumping, and then how she ended up being this housewife who then is given this great challenge at the end of her father's life when he is too senile and these tremendous horses. So it really goes all the way up through that. Then it also talks somewhat about, it's certainly Riva Ridge and Secretariat. Riva, who was left out of the movie, was also our champion, had won the Derby and the Belmont in 1972, the year before Secretariat, which most people don't even know. Mom won 5 of the 6 Triple Crown races back-to-back in 72 and 73.
I did not know.
Isn't that remarkable?
Yeah, I did not know.
Well, of course, the Disney folks said, you can't have 2 high points in the movie, so they left Riva out. But the essence of the movie really was accurate, nevertheless. But so then the book then goes on and covers their offspring. We're actually working now on a book about Riva because his story is also remarkable. And then we're also going to come out in 2013, which is the 40th anniversary of the Triple Crown. We're going to come out with an addendum to this book, which talks more about Secretariat's offspring.
Wow. How do people get a hold of the book? How can they find the book?
Well, it's on Amazon. It's also an ebook. You can get it at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, any of the bookstores. You can also get it at secretariatsmeadow.com, which is our website, and that's all one word, Secretariat's Meadow. And basically any place you can get a book, you can get this book. You can also get it signed from our website.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Wow. Well, that is neat. I'll tell you. Finding out that you were going to be here after I had just been recently to Doswell,
yes,
and getting a chance to do this interview is really great. And this is a great event here at Pomona too.
Oh, we're thrilled to be here. We're meeting more fascinating people, and there's so many great events that I'd love to go attend and learn from. But we're tickled to be here in Southern California in February. What more could you want?
That's right. It's about 75 degrees.
It's gorgeous.
I live in Wisconsin. This is fantastic.
I live in Denver, and we're about to get 10 to 15 inches, so I'm happy.
Well, Kate, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
It's been my pleasure, and please check out the book. You'll love it. And, of course, the story of Secretariat is just such an enduring story.
It is. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Stay with us. We got more coming. Speaking of horses.
Woodstar Products offers custom stalls for every barn and every barn style. Woodstar offers top quality design, construction, and customer service for every stall and barn need you can come up with. Custom built for you. Design your own stall with their new system online at woodstarproducts.com. Check them out. That's Woodstar Products.
Well, welcome to Speaking of Horses. We are here in Pomona, California for the first ever Horse Expo Pomona. And it's a great event. I'm very pleased to be here with Speaking of Horses. And I'm more pleased to be sitting next to an author of a fine book about the wine country, right?
That's right.
Horses in Wine Country. Tracey Hagadorn is my guest, and you are the author of this book. So tell us a little bit about what brought you to write this book. What was your inspiration for this?
Yes, well, I've always ridden horses. I started when I was 8, and it's my love, it's my passion. And I received a coffee table book that was Dogs in Wine Country a couple years ago, and I looked online to see if there was something similar on horses, and I couldn't find it. So I decided I was going to create it. And a very good friend of mine happens to be a Horse Illustrated photographer, very accomplished equestrian photographer. And so I asked her if she would like to partner with me, and she jumped at the chance. And a year and a half later, we have Horses in Wine Country.
Now, this book, Horses in Wine Country, which I'm going to hold up here for you, you're going to tell us in a minute how it's available, but this book goes through the various wineries and areas up in Napa Valley and other areas of Northern California where there's wineries that are horse-friendly, right?
That's right. And we started in Napa and Sonoma, and then we went down through the Central Coast and finished in Temecula. And so it covers all 3 wine regions. And a lot of the winery owners own horses as well. They kind of go hand in hand. They're a bit of a beautiful marriage, the beautiful wine country and beautiful horses. So that is the topic.
And, of course, taking a nice horseback ride through the day and then having a nice classic glass of wine in the evening, or a couple of glasses of wine. There's not a better match. Just riding through the vineyard areas is something to really dream about.
Yes, I was surprised that a lot of the wineries, especially in Temecula, will allow people to ride up and tie to their hitching post and then go in and have a glass of wine, like South Coast Winery. Or Robert Renzoni even has a tasting room specifically for the equestrians. So it's a very horse-friendly area.
Yeah. Now, if people want to look at getting a copy of the book and finding out more about, and I love the picture on the front of this, that's a gypsy vanner through the wine country. Is that you modeling there?
Oh, no. That's a professional model. I'm behind the scenes.
But, how would people get a hold of you? What's your website or whatever to find out more about the book and how to get a copy of this and study up on what you can do in Northern California horseback, right?
Yeah, it's www.horsesinwinecountry.com, and we welcome you to go to the website, and there's a blog that we keep updated of where we are and what's going on with the book, and little tidbits that, just fun facts about the book that it's fun to read about. So
It's a great study in pictures too, because I was looking through it a bit ago in your booth, and some fantastic shots and everything, and the descriptions are nice too. But the photography is it's a great picture book as well.
Yes, Sharon Feibelkorn, she's the photographer. She'll never come and do something like this. She's very shy behind the scenes, but man, is she a talent and just a really fun lady to be with.
Well, it's a great book, and again, it's Horses in Wine Country. And get a hold of Tracey and get a copy. Tracey, thank you.
Thank you very much.
And really, I'm going to look at it again myself. So anyway, stay with us. We got more coming from Pomona, California, right here on Speaking of Horses.
We'd like to make your dreams come true in active riding trips. Whether you're an active horseman, avid horseman, or part-time horseman, you can enjoy active riding trips. You can ride the Gold Rush Ride in the mountains of California near the Gold Rush Find, the hills of New England and Vermont, Virginia fox hunting, Tuscany to Ireland, and to South America. It's all there for you. You'll be treated like a king or a queen. And ActiveRidingTrips.com. Get a hold of them. Make your dreams come true and make memories. Andis, professional, lightweight, versatile grooming tools for a best-in-show finish with every stroke. With Andis Power Stroke, you have a heavy-duty, high-speed, power groom for professional results every time you clip. Also, get great horse grooming tips from Dana Boyd Miller and from Andis. Check us out at andis.com, also on Facebook and Twitter.
Well, again, we are here in the Trailer Symposium Corral, and this is the place where I get to do all of my interviews, speaking of horses. And we are here at Horse Expo Pomona, and what a great day, what a great first day. I mean, the crowd is just tremendous, right?
It's amazing, yes. Nice people.
Oh, yeah. Talking to Denise Branco, and Denise has written a book called Horses at the Corner Post. Now, we've talked to Denise before, but you happen to be out here promoting, but you live in California.
Yes.
Yeah. So how's it going down here in the book corral?
Oh, it's fun. I mean, being among other authors is just amazing, too. You know, it's a great experience in meeting horse people and, you know, just talking with people. It's been incredible. Yeah, enjoying it. And
getting a chance to meet the likes of, like, Kate, you know, Chennery, Tweety, you know, the Secretariat family. Yeah, it's, you know, those are just tremendous connections that you make.
I've been looking forward to meeting her for since they asked me to come. I remember watch the Secretariat on television. You know, I've been looking.
Well, you're not that old.
I am. Yes, unfortunately.
I remember it too, so don't worry about it. All right, tell us a little bit about the book again.
Okay, great. Thanks, Wayne. Well, it started off when my horse passed away about 4 years ago. Part of the grieving process, I just wanted to write about our life together, and I didn't want to forget any of the great moments, especially the part he was born and raised on our ranch. We had that connection from his birth, but there was a period of time, 12 years, that he wasn't in my life. But I had dreamt that he was in danger, and I had to find him again. So it's kind of that journey, and I feel like there's a message in my story that, you know, have faith and believe that the things can happen, you know, if you truly set out to make things happen. So anyway, searched for him, and long story short, did find him, thank God, and his owner was dying of cancer. So I feel like that was the reason. It was divine intervention that I was meant to search for him again and bring him back to the ranch where he was born. So it's my way to pay tribute to him, and then I've used the book to even help other, you know, equine charities, SPCAs, what have you, in silent auction or whatever. So paying back to other animals that are still with us too. So.
Well, and you know, it's one of those things where the animals are so much a part of people's lives. Even they're more a part of their lives than people even realize sometimes.
Oh, that's so true. I mean, that connection, and it still goes on. I've tried to look for another horse. It's been 4 years, but I still haven't gotten to that point yet. I don't know what it is, but I've been born, you know, raised on a ranch. I mean, we had all kinds of animals, but and horses, lots of them. But there's this one is just really in there. So maybe someday, you know. But right now, yeah. Once you have that connection, it's with any animal. It doesn't matter what it is. You know, I love all animals, but this one's extra special.
And once you have the connection, like we had a black lab for years, and we lost him this winter, and actually in the fall, and there have been many times, that I'll be like sleeping on the couch with the TV, and everything, and all of a sudden you think you catch a glimpse of that big old black lab, old Rocky, going across there, and then you realize no, it's not, but you just sort of envision it because it was such a part of the routine in the living room in front of the TV at night, with him going through his little take care of me antics, and you just those things are so ingrained with you that you don't know all of that until later on,
Yeah, that's true. No, I agree, and you have that communication. You probably, even when he was around, you didn't have to say anything to him. You could give him that look.
That's right. And they can give you the look too.
That's true.
So, all right, Horses at the Corner Post is the book. Now, how do they get it?
There's online, of course, my website, horseatthecornerpost.com, but Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Right now my website's going through a revision, so in about a week we'll have some new things on it. And so anyway, yeah, online especially. But
yeah, and one of them is going to be a Speaking of Horses interview, right? You got to get that plug in there.
I want you to be on the homepage, Wayne. You're there.
Well, it's a pleasure to talk to you again, Denise, and check out the book again if you would. And Horses at the Corner Post, Denise Branco, thank you.
Thank you, Wayne.
All right.
Always great to see you.
Stay with us. Speaking of horses, more coming. We're in Pomona at Horse Expo Pomona 2012. Well, again, we're here at Horse Expo Pomona, and we've got a book here. We've also got the author of this book with us, and she's got the giggles a little bit, but this is something that anybody that trail rides horses or rides, and I know all the trail riding that I've done, there's two major things. Where are we going to ride, and then what are we going to eat? Okay, right. And we're going to talk about the eating portion of this now. Debbie Overman is with me. She has a book out. It's all season slow cooker recipes for horse lovers right here. And this book has all these recipes so that you can load up the slow cooker, go riding, come back, and dinner's ready, right?
That's right. That's the point of the book.
So tell us what drove you to write this book.
Well, I was a trainer for many years, and I would come in after a long day of riding and teaching, and I would crawl into my house, absolutely exhausted, and then I would have to figure out what I was going to eat and make for dinner. And the task was just monumental. So I started using my slow cooker more and more and more, until finally now it's the only way I cook.
Well, I know you can put those meals on and just do your thing and come back, and it's ready. It's like magic, right? Beats a microwave all to thunder. It's cooked. But the nice part is it's cooked nice and slow, and you maintain all of the flavors and the juices, right?
Right, and all the nutrients from your vegetables and your meats, all the vitamins, all the minerals are still contained within that dish. So, and I cook everything. I cook cakes in there. I make rice pudding. I make custards. So you can literally have breakfast, your main dish, side dishes, and dessert. I also have horse treats in the book. I do.
Desserts and horse treats, right?
Yeah, for your equine friends, so you can go, you can be ready for them.
It says here, get out of the kitchen and into the saddle in 15 minutes or less, right?
That's right. I made all of the recipes, quick recipes, so that people have more time to do what they love, and that is spend time with their horses.
Well, this looks really neat, and I gotta, anything that has to do with food and recipes, I gotta figure out. But this, you've got here's chicken sweet potato stew, broccoli soup, barbecue bean soup sounds good, doesn't it? Oh yeah, black bean soup. We've got Dijon pork, char siu pork. Is that what that is?
That's right.
Siu? Okay, I just want to make sure it's pronouncing that right. But all kinds of stuff in the book. So now you reside here in Southern California?
Yes, sir, I do. I live up near Idlewild. Mm-hmm.
Don't say, sir. I look for my father. No, it's but you live near Idlewild, which is in the L.A. area, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
So how do people get a hold of this book? I mean, there's tons of trail riders out there that are looking for these kind of recipes.
Yeah.
And people that want to go ride in the arena, in the barn for a while, or whatever.
Well, it's also a great book to take if you're going to go to a show. If you want to offset the cost of dining out, take your slow cooker and take this book and then plug it in, and when you're done showing, after a long day of showing and you're exhausted, you've got a nice home-cooked meal waiting for you.
So how do people get a hold of the book?
Well, they can go on my website, which is www.winterskymoonranch.com. So that's winterskymoonranch.com. And I have a PayPal secure site there. Or in about a week, it will be available through Barnes & Noble and Amazon.com.
Okay, and in about a week, you're talking what date?
I would say probably the 10th of January. Or February. Woo! Got to be in the right month.
Okay, so by the time you see this interview, it will be available because it's already, we're doing this interview on the 3rd.
Right.
So by the time you see this, it'll be available that way as well. Well, it looks intriguing, and is that your horse on the front?
That is my stallion, Sky. He's a few spot Appaloosa, and he's my baby.
Looks good, and it's some, it's all the little things around it that people are interested in too, and this looks neat. So Debbie, thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, get the book. That way you can eat well while you're riding that horse. So, and we'll be back with more right here on Speaking of Horses.
Humane manufacturing mats reduce bedding costs. They cushion animals' joints and muscles. Mats will not absorb moisture and animal fluids. All of our recycled rubber mats and rubber floor products are made using only the best of the best, clean, green, and recycled. Antibacterial and antifungal agents are added during the manufacturing process, guaranteed not to curl or buckle as you see here. Rubber mats use the Lock Tough system. Use humane manufacturing stall mats for all of your needs.